So let's just do a little survey. Of all the people you talk to, when you go out there and talk to them, do they want to pay more for the dentist or less?
Less.
Okay. And do they want more money in their life or less money in their life?
More.
So you offer them a chance to pay less for the dentist. You offer them a chance to have more money in your life. And at the end of the conversation, they say, no. Let's review. They want to pay less. They give them a chance to pay less. They want more money. Give them a chance for more money. At the end of the conversation, they say no. Does that strike anybody here as a little bit strange?
Yes.
Would you like to know what happened?
Yes.
Here's what happened. You and I have taken a pre-sold prospect, and through our random use of untrained words, we literally talk them out.
Right.
Oh, it gets worse. We talked them out of it so badly that they almost said, I'd rather be ripped off by my dentist and die broke rather than do business with you. And they said, oh,
Wow.
what did I say that was so bad? And that's the problem. When we get started, we just sign the application, and then we just go out with oral diarrhea and hope people kind of click onto our message. But we can be a little bit better about how we talk. So I'm going to guarantee for everybody here, if you just change a few words, magic will happen. How many people here would like a little bit more magic? So it's not what you have to offer. It's how you describe it. And you can take the exact same event, describe it just slightly different, just move a couple words around. Completely different result. Let me give you an example. I'm going to describe the exact same event, but just change a few words. So let's say I'm on a date with a lady, and I say to the lady, when I look in your eyes, time stands still. Or I could say, your face would stop a clock. Now, it's the same event. But how we describe it might make a little bit of difference, wouldn't it?
Black eye.
And that's what happened to me when I got started. I went out and I just said to people, your face would stop a clock. And I go, ooh. And I said, well, your face would stop. Ooh. Well, your face. Let me find a new person to say your face would stop a clock. And that's not the problem. We don't need new people to run. What we need to do is change what we say.
Right.
So once we learn how to change what we say, prospects will just come to us naturally. Because they're pre-sold, we just stop talking them out of it. And I tell this little story to distributors to kind of help them remember that it's the words you say that makes the difference. And the story I tell them, you might want to borrow, I have to write it down, easy story to remember. But I say, I go to the party to get a date. And I come up to the first lady I meet, and I say, so how old are you? How much do you weigh? Are those your real teeth? What color do you dye your hair? How much makeup do you need in the morning? Oh, you're not pregnant? And,
Pow, boom.
yes, how many dates am I going to get?
Yeah.
So I go home and I call you up and you're my sponsor. I say, hey, sponsor, I went to this party, but there's no prospects at the party. I mean, some of those ladies even said they don't even like men. So, sponsor, please help me find a new party where I can find some good prospects. What's going to happen at the new party?
Same thing.
Is it possible for somebody to go to that original party and get a date?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, because they said something different. And that's all I ask is that we say something different to get a better result. Don't have to change what we present, just change how we describe it. So would you like to see what goes through their people's minds when they meet you?
Yeah.
And once we know this, we can say, okay, I can figure this out. So if you have a pencil and paper, I'd like you to write down 4 words. Just 4 words. Are you ready?
Yes.
When you and I meet a live human being, still breathing, 4 things happen of the skills when we get started. Here's the 4. Number one, you're going to have a little skill of a presentation, right? So write down the words presentation. That's going to happen. Number two, closing. You're going to have to get that decision, right? And by the way, I'm not familiar with your pay plan, but what's the bonus commission on the people that don't join?
Zero.
Do you have a pass-out brochure bonus? Do you have an educating bonus? Do you have a bonus on making a list of 20 people you're afraid to call? Is there a bonus on handing out CDs and DVDs people are going to use for drink coasters? Closing, we have to close or else nothing happens, right?
Right.
Number three, we're going to have to use some sort of icebreaker. And an icebreaker simply means we're taking the conversation from social chit-chat to introducing our business into the conversation in a socially acceptable way where we're not going to get rejected. Now, do you think your brand new IBOs have really good icebreaker skills yet? No. So they say something like this. Hi, how are you? How's the weather? Want to join my business? It's not smooth, all right? Could use some work. And last of all is rapport. R-A-P-P-O-R-T. I didn't know how to spell it. It took a long time going through the R's in the dictionary. But anyway. Rapport, I don't know, what does rapport mean in your area? Something like a relationship, you get along, they like you, they trust you, they believe the words you say, join the hip, open mind meld, blood brother, blood sister, hand-in-hand common vision, stuff like that, right? Rapport. So those four things happen every time we meet a live human being. So, my question is, how good are you at those four things? We know the new person is probably not good at any of them, so we want to improve what we do at each one of those steps. Now, how many people here would like to take a test that you're probably going to flunk, but it might change your life forever? All right? So here's something that I didn't know when I got started, but it really changed my career big time when it happened. You wrote these four things down, right?
Yes.
They are presentation, what's next?
Closing.
What's next?
Icebreaker.
And
Rapport.
Those things happen. What I'd like you to do is rewrite those four words down right now, but put them in the order that you do them. Which one you do first, which one you do second, which one you do third, which one you do fourth. Now, since you do this for a living, if you have to think a long time about it, that might not be a good sign. And if you're copying your neighbors, that's a really bad sign. All right, by a show of hands, how many people wrote those four words down again? All right, and now that we put them in chronological order, let me ask you a question. Do you think things have an order in life?
Yes.
And if you get things out of order, it might be a bit of a problem.
Yes.
Yes.
For instance, skydiving. Step one, put on parachute. Step two, get an airplane. Step three, jump out of airplane. Step four, pull the ripcord. If you get that out of order, you
Die.
And if you get these out of order, you
Don't make money.
a little dramatic, isn't it? But if you have them in order, it'll be awesome. If you get them out of order, oh man, you're going to have to work 10 or 100 times harder than you need to for the same result. So should we get them in order quickly?
Yes.
By a show of hands, how many people wrote them down in the correct order? All right. We're not really quite sure. Could you do a little experiment? I'd like you to take a look at the person on your right and on your left, or across your table, and see if their order quickly matches yours.
You copy mine.
No, man.
What's yours, Michelle? Oh yeah, you got what? Wait, let me see if it's again. This makes Oh yeah, we got the same one.
All right, let's see how we did. How many people here noticed that the other people at your table were wrong? See, what's that about? How can you be wrong? We're all in the same business. It should match, shouldn't it? So, let's go through this list and find out what order it should be. And if your list was wrong, I want you to think of two things. If your list was wrong and they're out of order, say, look how far I've come already messing it up. And then say, and look how much better it's going to be when I leave here because it's going to be awesome.
Right.
So if your list is wrong, don't worry about it. We're just going to improve it right now. So let's see. What's number one on the list?
Icebreaker.
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 Oh man, we're falling apart already. Okay. Icebreaker's pretty awesome, but actually number one is rapport. That's not a contest. Not a contest.
I have that as number 4.
But let me share with you why. We need to start off good, though, right?
Yes.
Look how far I've
How
got.
many people here would like to know why rapport is number one?
No.
All right. Let me show you why. Rapport means they trust you and believe you. Now, do people buy from people they don't trust?
No.
Do they join businesses with people they don't believe?
No.
So unless that's in place, you are so dead. And I have a case study to prove it. When I got started in 1972, I started by talking to about 1,500 folks, and through a bad streak of luck, all 1,500 didn't want anything better in their life. They're just totally unmotivated and have no goals. You think that was the problem?
No, sir.
What do you think the problem was?
You.
Yeah, I was at the scene of the crime every time. The problem was I studied to be an engineer. Anybody here know what an engineer is?
Yes.
Boring people. Personality free. Charisma bypass. Socially challenged. Should not be let out in public. And I gave perfect presentations. Perfect. All the information. Correct order. Not a mistake. But I had never heard the word rapport. What do engineers know about rapport? I never even heard of it. It was until 2 years later that I had to figure out what it even meant. Because there was no rapport, no matter how good my presentation was, it wasn't going to happen because they didn't trust me and believe me. So the first step we have to do is get that trust and belief in place. And I'll show you how important it is. Let's say that I mentioned to you that I have brand new BMWs out in the parking lot, half price. Who wants to give me cash? Some of you are thinking, he ain't from around. Maybe they're hot. Maybe they're stolen. Something wrong with them. Too good to be true. There's got to be a catch. And you're not going to do it because there's no rapport. But half-price BMWs is like the deal of the century. But you will turn it down, and so would I, because there's no trust and rapport.
Right.
Which means you could offer your dental plan for 1 penny. But if there's no trust and rapport, never going to happen. Get this, you can even offer people a life of their dreams where they can fire the boss, have all the time with their family, travel the world. But if there's not trust and rapport, they won't even show up for a meeting. How many people here get it that trust and rapport is number one?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is why you see this phenomenon. You see a bank vice president knows everybody in town. He starts the business and doesn't do nearly as well as the midwife who delivered every child in that community over the last 4 years.
Right. Right.
Because that trust and rapport is much more important. So that's why it's number one. Well, let's move on. What's number two?
Icebreaker.
Icebreaker, yeah. At some point, we better let them know what we're talking about, right? Can't keep it secret forever. Give me your money, we'll tell you about it. No, it doesn't work that way. You're going to have to break the ice and let them know that you're in the business. By the way, how many people still have your list correct? Okay. So, what's number 3? All right. I'm just going to ask you, if it wasn't presentation, and if I were to give you another guess, what would you have guessed?
Closing.
Yeah, number 3 is closing. All right?
Really?
Yeah, really. Number 3 is closing.
Whoa.
C-L-O. And number 4 is
Presentation.
I've come a long way.
Now, judging from the looks of your faces, either you don't believe this or we're at a hemorrhoid convention. But some of you are thinking, wait a minute. How can we close people before you even tell them how this whole thing works? And it's pretty easy to do. And I'll show you what it means to be professional in this business. And I just want you to imagine if this was possible. Even though you don't believe it yet, I'll show you about the closing in a moment. But if it was possible to build rapport with somebody in seconds, not minutes, seconds, and then to break the ice in seconds, and then close them and got a yes or no decision that they wanted to be maybe in business for themselves or maybe want to save some money in seconds.
Okay.
And you're done. You've done your business. You know, your company's in charge of presentation. Don't they have like a video or something? Maybe a brochure, an opportunity meeting, a sponsor that explains things. Yeah, the presentation, they've already done for us. Right? We don't have to make up something new. Oh, I'm going to create my own PowerPoint slides. No, everything's there. The presentation is only after they've made a decision, and here's why. Most people make a decision before they even know what it is, and I'll show how that works in a moment. But what if your life was seconds to get rapport, seconds to break the ice, seconds to get the yes or no decision? If the answer was yes, then and only then would you do the presentation. And the presentation would actually be that first training session. They're sitting on your side of the table. Everything you say is going to be wonderful. You say the name of the company's America. It starts with a vowel. How great is that? Awesome. You know, they're just happy about anything you say. How many people here like to be doing presentations that are with people that are pre-sold, already made the mental commitment they want to join? Wouldn't that be a lot more fun? And you have great presentation already. All we need to do is sell them before instead of after. Because you wait till after, well, let me show how the human mind makes up its mind. I'm going to show you how to do all 3 of these like in light speed. But let's do this first. Before I show you how to build rapport, before I show you how to break the ice, should we talk a little bit about this closing thing? Because I know this is in the back of your mind. You're thinking, I'm not really sure about that. Do people really make up their mind before the presentation? That sounds a little weird. So can we just talk about that first so that you won't be thinking about that?
Yeah.
So let me just show you how the human mind works as far as making up their mind. What I'm going to say is the human mind is designed to make the final decision based upon zero information. No information is used in the human mind, the yes and no decision. None whatsoever. How many people believe that, Walker? All right. Let me prove it to you that no information is used. By the way, if no information is used for them to make up their mind, how do you feel about the presentation part now? All right, it's great for the training part, right? But do we need to get them to be on our side, make the yes decision first, so they won't be doing this. So let's take a look. Case study number 1, to show you that information is not going to really make that much difference on the human decision. Case study 1. How many people here in this room would like to lose a little bit of weight?
Woo!
Okay, pretty good. A few others should have raised their hand. Let me talk about us fat people. Us fat people got the information. and we have books, and we have CDs, and we have DVDs, and we have websites, and online videos, and testimonials, and research reports, and exercise plans, and vitamin pills, and protein powders, and we've preached to, we've been lecturing. Every fat person in the universe got the information. Ask any fat person in the universe, how do you lose weight? They're going to say two things. Number one is eat less food. And number two is
Exercise.
every fat person in the universe got the information. So if people made decisions on information, of course that would mean there'd be no.
Fat people.
But are there fat people? Yeah, well, you see fat people when you leave today. You can see us from hundreds of yards away. So the first thing you and I are going to do is train our minds. Every time you and I see a fat person, we're going to say this inside of our head, not out loud. I'm just going to say people don't make decisions on information. That's all we have to do. So you ready? Let's practice this. Turn to your partner now. Pretend they're fat, so you don't have to pretend. But just say to them, people don't make decisions on information.
Fat people.
People don't make decisions
It's
on
not full of
information.
information.
All right, let's do. How many people here have figured out that no information is used in a human making decision?
Woo!
Oh boy, my influence is underwhelming. All right, case study number 2. How many people here have information about your business?
Yeah.
You got tons of information. Your prospects see the information. Now the question that should come up is, if all of my prospects basically see the same information, right? If all of our prospects see the same information, if prospects made decisions on information and they all see the same information, that would of course mean that either all the prospects should join or none of the prospects should join because they all saw the same information. But that's not true, is it? They all see the same information, yet some prospects say yes and some say no. So wouldn't it occur to us as adults that maybe people are making their final decision on something other than information? So by a show of hands, how many people here get it now that no information is used to make a decision? Case study number 3. I can hold out longer than you. So let's try this. How many people here have ever sat down with a prospect from the moment you sit down, they're leaning forward excited, but other times they're not leaning forward excited, what are they doing?
Leaning back.
Leaning back. Folding their arms. Calling their lawyer. And you know from the very moment you sat down, they've already made their final decision. What was their final decision?
No.
And how much of your presentation have you done?
No.
So, by show of hands, how many people here totally get it that the human mind makes decisions based upon zero information? And we see this all the time. How many people here ever invited somebody to an opportunity meeting and they did not show up? Have they made a decision? What was their decision?
No.
And how much information? They didn't even show up. So the first thing we're going to do as professionals is change our mind about how this decision thing works, because the human brain uses how much information to make a decision?
0.
Would you like to see something else we don't know about decisions?
Yes.
All right, so let's try this one. You go and do a 45-minute meeting or presentation. At the end of the presentation, your prospect looks at you. You look at the prospect. You look at them. Somebody's going to have to talk. They're going to make sure it's you. Pressure's on. What are you going to say? And this is the moment we lose our friendships. Our relatives say, you're trying to make money off of me. People are going to walk the other side of the street and make fun of you by the water cooler. You're going to be embarrassed, humiliated, rejected. This is one of the most pressure-filled, ugliest. How many people here besides me hate that moment? Yeah. Would it be okay if we got rid of it? Yeah. Well, let's go for it. And when this happens, we're like, oh, gotta say something, so we end up doing. Please? My baby needs shoes. This is awful. We hate this moment. So let's get rid of it forever by learning a little bit more about how humans make that final decision. You see, we're not even asking the right question down there. The question we should be asking is, did they really make up their mind at the 45-minute mark? What if they did it at the 38-minute mark? Or what if they did it at the 21-minute mark? Should we find out?
Yes.
Let's find out when humans make decisions, all right? A couple case studies. Number one, ladies, you know who you are. Ladies, have you ever seen a man with a remote control surfing in front of the TV? Drives you crazy, doesn't it? And you look at men and say, men are so stupid. They make their final decision, watch that channel just like boom, just like that. They're on the next one. They don't even think about it. They are idiots. Now, men, we have no defense on this one. All right. But we actually make a decision based upon no information here. But, man, I know you feel bad about this, so let's talk about the ladies.
Boo.
Ladies, how many ladies here have ever been to a shoe store? You hear about it? All right. So you go down to the shoe store in the mall. You stick your head inside the shoe store, 1,000 pairs of shoes up on the wall. But next door is a shoe store with a 95% off sale. How long does it take you to make a decision on that first 1,000 pairs of shoes? You're off over the other one. Maybe I'm wrong, ladies. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you say, oh, no. I sit down with the sales clerk and I say, I'd like to look at all 1,000 pairs of shoes with a complete presentation, so please bring me pair of shoes number one. And it says, oh, pair of shoes number one, they're Italian, they're made in Italy, by a little shoemaker, lived up in the mountains. His son had a crutch. They cut the hide out of the cow humanely, and they kind of gave him some maternity leave and sewed her up, and they partnered with a buckle factory, and they're both number one and two. Is that how it works, ladies? No. Ladies, you look at a pair of shoes, you say, oh, man, those shoes are orange. Halloween's coming up, a little bit overweight. It'll look like a pumpkin. No, just like that. It's over. Quick and instant decisions. Before the presentation. How many people here have ever seen a video on YouTube? How many seconds into the video before you make your final decision?
Like 5.
So in that case, you actually made your final decision before the
information.
Just checking. How many people here have ever eaten at a restaurant? 8 people. But play along. And make the decision to go inside that restaurant many times before you have even seen the menu.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that case, you actually made your final decision before.
Yeah.
How many people here have ever ordered food off the menu before you had all the information? Were the vegetables organically grown? Did the chicken have a happy life before they killed it? So in that case, you actually made your final decision before. So if I were to ask you, as an adult thinking human being, based upon your observation, when do humans make their final decision? After the presentation information or before?
Before.
Which is why it's number 3 on the list. Are we all okay with that now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So based upon what you see on that list, you should say, okay, I got it. All I have to do is rapport, icebreaker, get them to make the yes decision, and then when I show my presentation, they're already pre-sold. They're sitting on my side of the table. They're excited about everything. I don't have to have any more arguments or objections or think it over. They've already made up their mind. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
So, are we ready to go? Should we start with number 1? Has everybody got the closing thing out of your mind?
Yes.
People make up their mind before. And if you don't get that, here's one way of remembering. How many people here ever received a telephone call from a salesman? How many seconds into the phone call before you make your final decision?
Click.
Now, is that fair?
No.
No, but it's what we do in real life. Now, remember that because here's the question.
So good.
If you make your final decision to a salesman instantly over the phone before you even say the first word, if you do that to salespeople, do you think other people would do that to you?
Yep.
is the time.
He's good.
100%.
100%.
A little over 100%.
Over 100%.
They have made up their mind to do business with you or not way before you get to the presentation. So we need to manage that, and we see it all the time, and now it makes more sense. And for those of you who still having trouble grasping, let me just talk to the ladies. Ladies, have you ever sometime in your lifetime met a young man, made up your mind about that young man, how that young man might fit in your life, and made that final decision within the first 30 seconds to meet that young man? Now, men, is that fair? Of course that's not fair. They haven't heard our presentation yet. But it's what happens in real life. So, ladies, if you're sitting next to a man right now, turn to the man, look him in the eye, and say, that's how it works. People make the decision to do business with you before they even know what the business is. And if somehow you're still attached to information, let me give you one you'll always remember. How many people here made the decision to get married before you had all the information? All right, one too far now. All right, sorry. So we're all on the same page, right? What we do early is going to make the difference. So let's make that happen now. So the first thing you have to do is create rapport. And rapport is pretty easy to do once you know how the human mind works. People say, well, I've been honest, and I have high integrity, and I'm sincere, and I have their best interest in heart, and they still tell me no. Does that happen to anybody here? All the time. So obviously that has nothing to do with rapport. That just has something to do with being a good person. But if you want to build rapport, there are certain programs in the back of the human mind that tells them, I can believe you and trust you. And these programs are very easy to access. Anybody here know what a con man is? We call them politicians in Houston. What do you call them? Right. But let's say about con men. Are con men honest? High integrity, sincere, but con men are able to get honest, hardworking people and over all their cases in 15 seconds. And total rapport. So obviously there is a way to access this part of the mind so people will believe your message. And that's all we ask, is that they believe what we say. Isn't that true? And then they can decide if it's going to serve them or not. So if they believe what you say, they can say, all right, so let me make up my mind. I can save money or pay through the nose. Well, I haven't used my nose recently. All we ask is our message goes inside. So the program that we're going to start with first is in the back of their mind, so they decide to trust you. So they unfold their arms and stop being mean. Is they say, are you more like me or not like me? I tend to trust people who are more like me, and I tend not to trust people that are different than me. And that's why we tend to trust people of the same religion, the same political party, same ethnic background, from the same city, the same brand of beer, the same sports team, the same shopping habits. We tend to trust people who sort of think like we do, because we say if they think like we do, they're going to make the same decisions. And that's why when a member of the Democratic Party speaks and you're a Democrat, from the moment they move their lips, you're going, yeah. But if you're a Republican, from the moment they move their lips, you're going, liar, liar, pants on fire. Because you say they see fiscal policy differently, and they see social things differently. So we tend to trust people who think and see things the way we are. Let me show you how quick that works. People want to know that you see the world the same way they do. That's all they want to know, because then if you do, I can trust you. You go to China. Billion Chinese people are in there. And you meet somebody from Texas. Instant rapport, because they're more like you than everybody else. And you say, where are you from? Well, I'm from Dallas. Where are you from? El Paso. We're neighbors. Jersey. Yeah, They're just excited because they're more likely than everybody else. So the first thing they want to know is, are you more likely than not like me? And that's very easy to signal to them by simply telling them one fact that they believe and you believe. If you tell people one fact that you believe and they believe, they go, we think the same. Let me show you how that would work. I stopped to get gas on the way to the airport. And I go inside to pay because I don't want to pay at the pump because I don't know, did you ever notice not very many gas pumps ever join your downline? So inside is a real process. So what do you know about this guy inside at the counter? What do you know about him? Is he underpaid or overpaid?
Underpaid.
Love his job or hate his job?
Hate his job.
Does he enjoy being human target practice, guarding his boss's money?
No.
Do you want more time with his family? Like to earn more money? We know a lot about this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just go in and I'll tell him one fact, and I'll tell you what goes through his mind. Now, I'll use a couple facts. And this is what goes through the prospect's mind when you talk to them about what they want. So I come in to pay, and I say, jobs really interfere with our week. And we all would like to fire the boss. And, an extra paycheck would be great. You read my mind. And 2 paychecks are better than 1. Unbelievable. How do you do that? And we all want more time to travel. You're a Vulcan mind-reading expert. I can only aspire to. It's not hard to read somebody's mind, is it?
Right.
All you have to do is say a couple facts that they believe. And let me give you a couple facts that you can do. You might say, we all can use an extra paycheck. What are they going to be saying?
Yeah,
They're not
amen.
thinking the same. Or, we all like to pay less. Yeah. Or, it'd be great to work 3 weeks out of the month, get paid for 4. Or, we all would like to double our pension in just 9 months. That'd be like $200. And it would be great to stay home with our children and still get a full-time paycheck. And we don't want to work 45 years like our parents. It'd be great to retire 10 years early at full pay. We all would like to buy an apartment for our mother-in-law, far, far away. It'd be great to take a 6-month vacation twice a year. We all would like to earn more money part-time than our boss does full-time. We all would like to be paid what we're worth. Dentists cost so much. Medical bills are expensive. Dental plans are so expensive. How hard is this to tell people a fact or two that they believe? So you all ready? Turn to the person right next to you and tell them a couple of facts that they believe. Let's begin.
We all could use an extra paycheck.
I know you just love to spend time with your children.
We all would love to stay home with our families and still earn a full-time paycheck.
I know you would love to be able to get your dream car tomorrow.
We all know that people would want to take more vacation. 6 days, even month after year.
Remind me of that one from my second topic.
Wouldn't it be great if you could buy your dream home?
We.
We?
The fact that they believe that we believe.
Wouldn't it be great if we could buy a dream
All right,
home
was that easy?
and have it paid for in less than 30
Now,
years?
the question is, how did I mess it up so bad? Well, I told facts, but facts that maybe they didn't really feel good about. See if you can see where I went wrong on rapport. When I started off, I went to people and I said, you have a stupid job, and I got this great business. So maybe we could pick better facts. To be able to pick better facts, you have to learn how to become a mind reader. Now, how many people here would like a quick mind reading lesson? Yeah. And all you have to do is observe. So everybody take your right hand, put it on the forehead of the person next to you. You're going to read the mind. First of all, you're going to say you're sitting in a large room.
The city of a large
with a
room.
bunch of motivated people.
A bunch of motivated people.
And I hope you washed your hands recently.
I hope you watch your hands
We're just reading minds, all right? But if we start off with a fact, we're in.
hand sanitizer.
You start off with 2 facts, you'll actually hypnotize them. But here's the next thing we can do for rapport. Babies, 7 weeks old, can do this. They're laying on their back, can't even talk. And adult looks at them and how does the baby know to trust that adult or not? What does the adult do so the baby trusts?
Facial expression.
Smiles. This is a hardwired program in the back of people's mind that says if somebody smiles,
Oh,
they
smile,
can
yes, yes.
be trusted.
Right.
Now, this is one of the stupidest, inaccurate programs ever given to you.
around.
It's totally not true. But when you smile, people want to trust you. So if you smile, you're in. And if you can't smile, keep that day job. Very good. How many people here know how to smile? Oh, we need some work. All right.
Wait, what did he say?
Smile is basically 13 muscles here, 13 muscles here. Show a little bit of teeth, pretend to be sincere. Show you how it works. Everybody turn to your partner, give them the biggest, widest Cheshire cat grin you possibly can.
She ain't smiled.
She won't either.
She don't
That
smile.
wasn't so hard, was it?
Now she really ain't gonna smile now.
Now,
I smile.
backs are good. Smiles are good. But we're going to move up a level. Because you can come in and you can say, oh, what am I going to say? How do I get the conversation started? I've never met this person before. How do I talk to strangers? How can I talk to a stranger so that stranger will trust me, open up their heart, tell me anything I want to eat their deepest, darkest secrets, turn into a total hug-a-thon and total rapport where they feel obligated to help me any way possible? If you could do that, would that be pretty awesome? And you can command that with 4 words to the back of their mind. There's a 4-word sequence that you can tell humans that if you say these 4 words, even to the deepest, darkest stranger you're afraid of having a bad day, it will melt their heart. They'll open up, tell you anything that you want, even their deepest, darkest secrets. Giant hug-a-thon, they love you, they feel obligated to help you any way possible. It is absolute magic. Now, before these 4 words, I was a nerd with no prospects. After the 4 words, I was a nerd with lots of prospects. It won't fix your nerdness, but it will give you lots and lots of prospects. So I'm just curious, how many people here, if you had a 4-word combination you could use so you could talk to anybody you wanted to, would that be helpful? Yeah. And I'm just curious, if I told you these 4 words, would you use them over and over again? And I'm just curious, would you use it to build your business as fast as possible?
Yes.
So I'm just curious, how many people are ready to write them down? I'm just curious, how many people here have a partner's figured out what they are? I'm just curious, how many people here are going to sit here staring into space while I say,
I'm just curious.
Over and over.
I'm just curious.
Right now, the 4 words,
I am just curious. I'm just curious.
It's totally under the radar. People never even notice it, don't even hear it. But if you say, I'm just curious, it's magic. I can go outside this door and create a bonded rapport conversation with the security guard. I don't even speak Dallasese. All right? I'll go outside this door and I'll say to the security guard, I'm just curious, do you enjoy working weekends? Conversation already. Or I'm just curious, is it hard being on your feet a lot? I'm just curious, you ever have to work nights? I'm just curious, can you pick the hours you want? I'm just curious, it's a good paying career. I'm just curious, would you like to have more time with your family? I'm just curious, would you like to get a big raise? I'm just curious, would an extra check help out? How are we doing?
Yeah.
Just like that, by saying, I am just curious, you are in. Total rapport commanded to the back of their mind. They trust you and believe you. Giant hug-a-thon. They want to help you any way possible. How many people here think you could say, I am just curious?
I am just
I'm
curious.
just
And for your
curious.
business, can you say, I'm just curious, do you have down money? I'm just curious, do you enjoy saving money? I am just curious. Do you enjoy having that dream-sucking vampire boss take little bits of your brain out every day, turning you into a human zombie? I'm just curious. How easy is this, right? Turn to your partner right now. Just try it. I am just curious. Let's begin.
I'm just curious. You like to make some money? Just curious.
What would be a dream vacation?
I'm just curious.
That's curious. Where did you get your hair done?
I'm just curious. Where'd you get that talk from?
I'm just curious.
So did that work for you? So I go get gas. I go to the sales clerk. And all I have to say to the sales clerk is, I'm just curious. Is this a good paying career? I'm just curious. You get in the hours you want. I'm just curious. You like to have a huge raise. I'm just curious. Would you like a career where you can actually be helping people? How much fun is that? So for our report step, for everyone here, we're just going to use 4 words. I am just curious. So we jump ahead to the icebreaker step?
Yes.
All right. Now, how many people here have ever talked to somebody and nobody was home?
Yes. Oh my God.
Happens, doesn't it? And it doesn't matter how good our message is if nobody's listening. And when we're talking to them, they're thinking, oh, you're a salesman. How long is it going to last? Too good to be true. What's the catch? Be careful. Save my money. Run, save yourself. Hide your wallet. Hide your purse. Get excuses. Gather. Beep, beep, beep. Survive at 13. Get a file on 14. They're not hearing. We're nowhere. So the first thing you and I will have to do is, more professionally, is learn how to take iron-fisted control of their mind. We're going to freeze it, bring it to a complete halt, and get all the drama they're thinking about and totally focus on what we're about to say next, like a puppy dog waiting for a treat.
Yes.
Now, does that sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Because unless you can get their attention so they hear your message, we're going to be out of luck, aren't we?
Yeah.
Now, you can take iron-fisted control of somebody's mind. Oh, if that bothers anybody here, let me point out they're not using their mind and we can do a better job. Right? So, how many people here would like to take control of somebody's mind, freeze it, bring it to a total halt so they hear your message? Now, there's lots of ways to do it, 9 words, but we don't have a lot of time today. We'll just use 4 words. And what I'm saying is you don't have to be a levitator, don't have to be a psychologist or magic card tricks. You can take control of another human being's mind with as little as 4 words. Freeze it so they hear your message. How many people here find that just a little bit hard to believe that the human mind is that weak that you can command anywhere you go and home? That's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? Now, I see a lot of you don't even believe it's possible, and I understand, because when I first heard this, I thought, oh, come on. You went just a little bit too far. Yeah, take control of another person's mind with just 4 words. But anyway, for all the skeptics here, I just found out.
Your punch speech.
Wrong again.
Your punch speech.
So if we're taking a wild guess what those 4 words would be, what would they be?
I just found out.
If you just say, I just found out, people are like, oh.
I was like, what?
Their survival program takes up this might get work for our survival.
You really?
Curiosity program takes, what'd you find out? What'd you find out? I can't go on. Why do I know what you found out? Tell me. So as you say, it just found out, you have complete control of their mind. Now that you have control of their mind, what do you want to do with it? Well, maybe I'll just get them to beg me for a presentation. I mean, if you have control, right? Or you can have them do an Irish dance. But let's have them ask us for a presentation. So are we ready? All you have to do is say, I just found out, and then add any benefit about your service or your opportunity, and they're just going to say, oh, tell me more. And I'll just give you an example. Tell me what is the first word that comes to mind when I say, I just found out how we can get an extra paycheck. How? Asking me for a presentation. Or I just found out how we can fire the boss. Asking me for a presentation. I just found out how we can stay home with our children and still get a full-time paycheck. I just found out how we can pay for Christmas with cash. I just found out how we can pay off all our debts quickly. I just found out how we can be debt free. I just found out how we can drive a Cadillac and have somebody else pay for it.
Woo! Woo!
I just found out how we never have to show up for work again. I just found out how we can wake up with a crack in it. I just found out how we can sell our alarm clock to our neighbor. I just found out how to make our retirement bigger than when we had a full-time paycheck. I just found out how we can help our relatives earn more money so we can all go on a cruise together. I just found out how we can save money every time we go to the dentist. Anybody here got an idea what you can say with I just found out? So turn to your partner right now and try a couple I just found out. And if you can't think of what to say, turn to your partner and say, I just found out that you should go first. All right, let's begin.
I just found out how we can get the Cadillac. I just found out.
I just found out that marketplace doesn't have dental and vision.
I just found out that how to save up to 80%.
I just found out.
I wanted out. I just found out.
I just find out how to earn full-time part-time.
I just found out that there's another way to retire without working 40 years.
Okay, how'd that work?
Woo!
Kathy's just having a ball over
And
there.
you can use this anywhere. Now, is that the best icebreaker? Probably not. We need to move on because what comes after the icebreaker?
Closing!
And once we do that, we're done, aren't we?
We're done.
Because that's our job. The company wants us to get people to make a decision.
Right.
They're going to take care of the rest. There's somebody that they can call and find a dentist or something. But we got to get the decision. That's what we're paid for. So to get the decision, we've learned a little bit about how soon do people make up their mind?
Immediate.
Second.
Yeah. Based on how much information?
None.
Done.
So if we keep that in mind, we want to close them before we do the presentation because then the presentation's so easy. They're so excited they're on our side of the table. So let's see how we close people before. The human mind makes up its mind based on pre-existing programs. And I want to show you how quick and how deadly this could be. I'm going to pretend I'm a brand new IBO. Eye the tiger. Vision of the eagle. 100 dead animal body parts. Chanted affirmations. Sang the company song. I have 100 CDs under this arm. 200 DVDs under this arm. And brochures strapped to my back. And I'm going to go out and talk to 100 prospects today. Are you proud of me? Now, am I trained or untrained? Skilled or unskilled?
Unskilled.
Am I going to use trained sequences of words or random oral diarrhea?
Random oral diarrhea.
How many people here see some bad things in my immediate future? So I'm coming up to you, and you're my prospect. I'm going to talk to 100 of you today. I'm excited. But now my sponsor has refused to tell me what to say, and also has refused to tell me what not to say, which is even worse yet. Just send me out to die. That's human target practice. So I'm coming up to you. You're my first prospect, and I'm going to start off with these 5 words. I'd like you to listen to these 5 words, and you tell me what decision the back of your mind makes after these 5 words. Are you ready? You're my first prospect. I'll start off by saying, would you be interested in?
No.
What do you mean no? Only 5 words into my presentation. Are you saying I'm dead meat? Roadkill? Flat as a pancake? I'm a human cadaver that's going to waste 45 minutes more of 2 people's time?
Yes.
Are you saying that after 5 untrained words, I'm dead?
Yeah.
It's over?
Yeah.
And if I do that 99 more times today, those 5 words. Would you be interested in? And those 5 words activate a special program in the brain called the salesman line. It sounds like this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I just got to die. Shields up. Salesman approaching. Run, run. Save yourself. And if you say those 5 words, you activate that program, and we are so dead. So after I do that 99 more times, how I feel about your business at the end of the day. Rip off artists. People like paying more money for their dentist. I don't know, I got conned with this and pyramid scheme. My mother was right. Don't try to do anything you don't want to fail. But don't worry, that night I go home and listen to a motivational CD. And the next day I go out and talk to 200 more people saying the exact same 5 words. Now how many people told me no? 300 total. And at this moment I'm thinking, forget it. I want to quit, but I can't quit because I wanted to send my daughters to private school. I didn't want to die at my job. I just don't even know what to change. I've changed everything. I even laminated my flip chart. I passed out the CD with the left hand instead of the right hand. Nothing worked. I guess the only thing I didn't change is my first 5 words. So I'm going to give it one more try. I'm your brother-in-law. I'm going to come up one more try before I just throw up my hands and quit and wait to die. So I come up to you, and here's my 5 words. Are you ready? Tell me the decision in the back of your mind after these 5 words. I just got involved with. This hurts, doesn't it?
Oh, God.
And I'm out of the business. Totally dead on arrival. Because my sponsor has refused to tell me the words to say, but worse yet, refused to tell me the words not to say, and I'm out there shooting off both feet with grenades, laying on swords. It's over. And this is what we do to people if we're not a good sponsor, right? And as a good sponsor, we want to teach them what to say and what to do. That's why they call us sponsors, right? And I can tell from the looks of your faces you didn't like this very much. But isn't that what we do to people? So my question to you is, would it be okay if we learned 5 words that worked?
Yes.
And would it be okay if these 5 words got our prospects to make yes decisions immediately?
Yes.
Would it be okay if we could close prospects quickly using these 5 words and then make a ton of money?
Okay.
So would it be okay if we learned these words right now?
Yeah.
Would it be okay if we asked your partner what they might be?
Would it be
okay?
It took a while to guess what it could be.
Would it be
okay?
okay?
Just wrote down, would it be okay if over, so I don't have to say, would it be okay if over and over again? There is a stupid program, an automatic program in the back of people's heads that says this. And about 97% of the people have it. Back of their head, they have a program that says if anybody, anywhere, at any time ever says, would it be okay if? The back of their head goes, yes, 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 high five, totally there, yes, don't even know what it's going to be, but yes, yes, yes. One of the stupidest programs ever given to humans. And what I'm saying, if you say, would it be okay if, up to about 97% of the people are going to say yes immediately. 3% are psychologically damaged, leave them alone. Now, some of you are looking at me like, wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me if I just say, would it be okay if? That, like a lot of people would be saying, like, yes, yes, yes. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if you're skeptical, don't you think engineers are skeptical? Yeah. So for all the skeptics here, would it be okay if I gave you some cool examples? That's pretty easy, wasn't it? All right, over. All right. So would it be okay if I gave you additional cool examples? All right. Would it be okay if you could pay wholesale rates instead of retail rates when you went to the dentist? Would it be okay if somebody could negotiate and get rid of a lot of the hospital bills? Would it be okay if you could save money so you have more money for your children's clothes for coming up for school? Would it be okay if you could pay for Christmas with cash? Would it be okay if you had a real job where you could make some real money? Would it be okay if you could drive a Cadillac and somebody else made the payments for it? Would it be okay if you finally started earning the money you deserve? Would it be okay if you had a part-time business to pay off all your student loans? Would it be okay if you could double your retirement in just about 9 months? This is pretty easy, isn't it? would it be okay if rocks? I use it all the time. Every time there's a line at the pizza buffet, I run to the front of the buffet. And I say, would it be okay if I slip in here? 97% of people say, 3% say, well, I'm not really sure about that. So I just found out. I'm in a hurry. I'm just curious, aren't people from Dallas polite? No, they have no chance. But would it be okay if children use it against their parents all the time? Children are small people, powerless, have no money, get everything they want. Mom, Dad, would it be okay if I stayed at Susie's tomorrow night? Would it be okay if I did my homework on Sunday instead? Would it be okay if we got a Nintendo 13? I heard they're educational. Even played like a drum. Alright. So y'all ready? Turn to your partner and try a couple. Would it be okay if? You can't think of what to say. Turn to your partner and say, would it be okay if you go first? Let's begin.
Would it be okay if I share some information with them?
Would it be okay if I share some information with you?
Okay, if I say you lying here, I just found out. I'm in a rush. Would it be okay?
Would it be okay if? Okay.
Would it be okay if you flyers your book?
Would it be okay shows you how you can
I almost said yes.
Would it be okay if the bill collector
All right, let's go make some money now. How many people are ready for the payoff?
Woo!
All right. Need you to write down 13 words. Number 1. That's a 1 and a dot, as in period. Write down, I am just curious. That's going to take care of the rapport step, right? 2 period. I just found out. That's going to take care of the icebreaker. Nice way of introducing her into the conversation. Number 3, would it be okay if? That'll be our close. Everybody have these 13 words? Now I'm going to ask you, how long would it take you to memorize these 13 words? I mean, you may say, oh, that's a lot. I better start slow. If you want to start slow, try this. You just start by saying, I'm just curious for a whole week. And at the end of the week, you say, you know what? Nobody's mad at me. They're all friendly. And it's kind of a habit now. Maybe next week I'm going to practice what? 4 words?
I just found out.
So next week you just say, I just found out all week. And when they say, well, what did you find out? You say, oh, we got to wait until next week. I'll be waiting. So we could learn them even if we had to do it slow, right? But I bet almost everybody here could learn these today. So let's put them together and see how that sounds. So I'm a brand new IBO. I go out and I say, hi, my name is, and I'm representing Ameriplan USA. It's very American. That's why American is in front of the plan. And USA means it's guaranteed to be American. Now, we have a service, and we are a service industry based upon in Plano, which is a suburb of Dallas. And this company was started by 2 exceptional people, and we have these special brochures. I would like to read one to you now. But you wouldn't do that, would you? No, because you're a professional. You have 13 words. So let's see who's going to win. You follow up behind me, and you talk to the exact same person, and you say, I don't know, to the family, you say, I'm just curious, do you have a dental plan? Well, I just found out how you can get a dental plan for $19.95 a month. Well, would it be okay if it not only covered you, but your entire family and all your 16 children too? I wish you could see the looks in your faces. That took about 10 seconds. And we're done. So I'm just curious, would you like to give your employees some more benefits? Yeah. Well, I just found out how you can do it. It won't even cost any money out of your pocket. Would it be okay if I showed you how they can get a dental plan and they'll be happy? Well, I'm just curious. Oh, wait. You're thinking, but that's just retail. Well, I need some IBOs. Try this Monday. You're going to be by the coffee machine, right? And you just might say this. I'm just curious. Do you think we're going to be 85 years old standing here with the same dirty coffee cups? I just found out how we can escape. Would it be okay if you came with me to a meeting tonight so we can get out of here together? Or, I'm just curious, is the dream-sucking vampire boss taking little bits of your brain out every day, turning you into a human zombie also? I just found out that we should get out of here while we still have half a brain left. Would it be okay if we had a cup of coffee with Doug and he could show us how we can be in our own business? Or on the way home, pick up your mobile phone illegally and call your mom and say, "Hi, Mom, I'm just curious. Would you like to see your grandchildren again?" I just found out they only visit customers in my business. Would it be okay if you went online and signed up so we can come visit? How many people here think you can do 13 words? Here's the proof. Right now, I'm going to ask you, well, let's put it this way. I'm just curious, how many people here like to do this really, really good? Because I just found out to do that, you have to practice. So would it be okay if you turned to your partner right now and just gave it a try? Let's begin.
I'm just curious. Would an extra paycheck help you at all? Because I just found out a way to add an extra paycheck to your household and not interfere with right now. Take it. Would it be okay if I showed you how?
I forgot it already.
I'm just curious. When's the last time you took a vacation?
It's been a while.
I just found out that there's a way that you can take one, at least one, every year. But more than 2 weeks at a time.
Really? Really?
Would it be okay if I showed you how?
Hell yeah. Yeah, you got it? You got it? Kitty cat? You want to try? Try with Dave. Yeah. Would you be interested? Yes. Come on, Michelle.
We did it already.
Let's do it again. We're done. I'm just curious. Would you like to have double your income right now?
What I asked her what it
Would you answer my question?
I asked her what I asked her would it be okay if I had some of her leads?
So what?
Yeah, she's like, would it be okay if I get some of your leads? I'm like, no.
Okay, happy new entertainment.
Woo!
Now, unfortunately, women get this a lot quicker than men. They have better language skills. But we all can be good by tomorrow morning, can't we?
Yes.
Too hard. Really.
So I'm just curious, how many people are going to start using these 13 words? I just found out you can probably close your prospects in the first 10 seconds before you actually showed them what it was. So would it be okay if we did this to double and triple our groups like really quick? And there's so many ways you can use this, right? And you can use it for, well, if you're just looking for prospects, we were talking earlier about people with hospital bills. Starting September 1, I guess you have something like, I'm just curious, you know anybody with some huge unpaid hospital bills?
Right.
I just found out how they can get them all written down or maybe even written off. Would it be okay if I talked to them and helped them out?
Right.
How hard would that be when you shut up? You can even talk them out of it. It'd be just that easy. So take your best benefits and say, I'm just curious, do you plan on ever taking your children to a dentist? I just found out how you can pay a little bit instead of a whole lot. Would it be okay if you paid the little bit so you have the money left over for ice cream and candy?
Another dentist appointment.
Use your imagination. You have a chance to change people's lives. Do you realize that just about everybody you meet, though, is pre-sold? And if you make it simple, it's going to be easy. And let me show you what I mean by simple. Whenever they ask a question, if you just answer it as honest and straightforward as you can, it's usually pretty easy. So I'll give you 21 words to finish. And these 21 words, before you panic, are almost all the same. But if somebody says, well, it sounds good, but I just can't make up my mind, my tiny brain can't compute paying less than more, I'm a full-time loser, I might want to fall on a sword instead of have that extra money. All right, here's 21 words to do. So if they have questions or just not sure or want to think about it, just start off by saying, what would you like to know first? There's no need to go back. This is not rocket surgery. And guess what? They'll tell you what they'll want to know first. And you save them a lot of time. They didn't have to go to a website and search for days through 100 links to find it out. And then the next thing you're going to say is, what would you like to know next?
Wow.
How do you think of these things? And then the last thing you're going to say is, what would you like to do next? And you're done. So let's just imagine you talk to a family, 16 children, and say, I'm just curious. You ever plan on taking your children to the dentist? Yeah. Well, I just found out how you can do it inexpensively because otherwise it's going to be like the national debt with all those kids. Would it be okay if you just used our $19.95 a month dental plan so you can save yourself a ton of money? Well, I think so, but I need to know more. So what are we going to say? Would you like to know first? Well, is the plan any good? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. What do you like to know next? Well, what's the name of the company?
Airplane.
So what would you like to know next? Are the dentists any good?
Yes.
Yeah. What would you like to know next? The $19.95 a month, is that everything? That's the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah. What would you like to know next? Yes, that's it. So what would you like to do next? Yes, I would like to save the money, so I will hold the pen, wiggle the application underneath. And they're easy if you keep it simple. So how many people here are ready to start using those 13 words? Good luck recruiting and triple your size quickly. Thank you.